what does it even mean to be conservative? What are we actually preserving? What do we stand for? What do we stand against? The difference between us and the left, just politically speaking, is supposed to be that the left just is out to destroy everything. That's why they can be so much more unified, because it doesn't matter how you tear down a building, anyone can do it. But conservatives are supposed to be for something. We're supposed to be building something. And that's much harder to do because when you're building something, you have to agree on the materials used and the strategy that you are employing to build it. You have to agree on the foundation. You have to agree on the bricks or the wood or whatever you're using to create this edifice. And that's much more difficult. But it is worth having the conversation, the very, fundamental conversation of like, what is our foundation? Do we believe in absolute truth? If so, where does that come from? If we agree that it comes from God, then we should look to him to define other things too. And if someone disagrees with that very fundamental premise of like our conservative foundation or our societal foundation, like then they probably shouldn't be defended, right? At any length. My friends at the Daily Wire, who I am almost always in alignment with when it comes to our reactions to things, Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles, they had this to say about the situation. Matt Walsh said, Greenwald was asked specifically about the apparent meth pipe in the video, and he didn't deny it. Instead, he said he's proud of his personal life. How can anyone defend this? There are 3 children in that home. Okay, I didn't realize there were 3 children. Does anyone really think that a home with hard drug use and male prostitution is an appropriate or safe place for children? It's true. And then he posts screenshots of someone saying, "Hey, like there's a meth pipe in this," and he doesn't deny that. Michael Knoll said. So he is kind of playing on the Screw Tape Letters. If you haven't read the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, gosh, it's a short book, but it is jam-packed with just amazing wisdom that makes you think. And so he's kind of playing on that. In this post, he says, tell the patient never to feel embarrassment or regret over supposedly consensual actions between adults. Encourage him to stay true to his own principles, no matter how erroneous. Your affectionate uncle, Screw Tape. As we've talked about many times on this show, consent is not the only determinant of morality. Consent-based morality is extremely slippery and superficial. People can consent to things that are immoral. People can consent to things that are awful. We've talked about how, if someone chooses to objectify themselves, or if someone chooses to, rent their wombs out for someone who is seeking a surrogate, well, they're consenting to it. They know what they're doing. It doesn't matter. It's still wrong. Self-objectification is still wrong. So this whole idea that I see a lot of conservatives lashing onto that, well, they consent to it. Okay, people consent to murder. People consent to rape if they are the one doing the raping. That doesn't make it okay. Okay. And consent is not the only thing that makes something wrong. It's not the only thing that makes something right. There are all different kinds of values and virtues that we use as inputs into making our moral calculations. And that's really what this debate is about. What are those inputs? It seems like we should be able to agree as Christian conservatives on what those should be. Lila Rose, also, I agree with her. She says sexual ethics matter. What you do in your bedroom does impact other people as well as yourself. A society that says anything goes sexually is in free fall. Right now, many right-wing elites seem to care more about shielding their friends than standing on principle. That's a recipe to lose the zealous, eager, hungry for truth next generation who can smell hypocrisy a mile away. She says, don't squander this opportunity. She also brings up different scenarios that have kind of been an interesting gauge over the years when, like Dave Rubin, for example, he announced that they were using 2 surrogates to welcome 2 boys. And then we had Ashley St. Clair like announce her pregnancy, intentional pregnancy with Elon Musk. And there have been several other instances like that. And by the way, like when I not only did not congratulate Dave Rubin, but made a video explaining why I didn't congratulate and my stance on surrogacy. That was several years ago, kind of when I just started talking about all of that. And when I did not congratulate Ashley St. Clair and I explained why, like I fielded a ton of criticism from our own side for that. But I just want to say, like, I still stand by the responses that I had. And over the years, when there have been things like that, when people on my side have said, oh, you just need to congratulate or do this, like, I will say, I don't want to say specifically who, because I don't want to violate their privacy in any way. But a lot of those people on the other side of the situation, whom I did not either congratulate or I didn't like give in to the endorsement of that behavior, those people have ended up reaching out to me and thanking me for being clear and consistent. And so I don't say that to pat myself on the back. I say that as encouragement to fellow conservatives that even if you field criticism in the moment, one, it doesn't matter because you are trying to glorify and obey God, but two, it almost always like comes back around and you never regret just standing on principle, biblical principles, and not giving any idea to others that you are compromising for the sake of political alliance. Because I see some people out here, like Billboard Chris, for example, who is not a Christian, who is expressing, he's if you don't know him, he's like an anti-gender ideology activist that works on behalf of the well-being of kids. He seems understandably very confused about the conservative Christian reaction to him, like why so many people are rushing to defense. And it makes me feel sad because I'm wondering, like, what kind of testimony is this when we are the ones that are helping sow the moral confusion? When someone who is not a Christian, like Billboard Chris, is like, this is clear. This includes the possible endangerment of kids. Like, why are we brushing this under the rug? Like, I want people to look to Christians and see clarity. And I understand, like, this can be complex when we're talking about politics and we're trying to distinguish between public ethics and private ethics and all of that. And maybe we won't all completely 100% unconditionally agree on everything. But I find this situation to be what should be kind of easy for public conservative Christians. And it ended up being a very surprising scenario.